Hi there. Welcome to Musing with Tanya D. I am your host and spiritual life coach, holistic shamedium, and energy surgeon, subtle energy surgeon, Tanya D. Thanks for joining me today. So on this musing show, I just want to muse about what's happening out around the planet at the moment, this global situation, how we are socially and physically distancing ourselves from each other. Energetically, there's an energetic, what I would call an energetic conundrum. It's where space and time are actually kind of in a way colliding and giving like a vinyl record, a vinyl record. If you were to scratch the vinyl record, it gives you, you have that pause, right? And you hope you haven't ruined your record, if you're me, because you know what's going to happen. It's going to skip and bump along. So we've had viruses before, but this one is a mutant. It's like the mutant messenger sending the message. And the message is obviously we need change, right? And ironically, we're in the season of change. We're in the season of change and transformation elementally in the physical world, but we're also in a year of belonging in the earth plane. The earth needs a reprieve. And since people have been home, nurturing their own inner nature, I would hope, our planet has started to actually come alive. And that's actually just what happens in nature and in the spring. Is that's when the what's been held in through the winter, the hibernation and the stillness, comes to life. So if you notice, like your pets and your animals and all things around you in nature are actually nurturing still. Like the rivers from the mountains are still flowing through. They haven't stopped their journey. So it's in this moment where we have time and space to take a pause, get our inner clarity, find our peace, have some compassion, be merciful, forgiveness, right? Forgiveness of all things. Because you get to find what really matters. Now, I'm in the Western United States, and what I find is happening a lot here, which I kind of don't get it, is this toilet paper hoarding. But what I recognized in the hoarding from an energetic point of view or a perception in the energy world is hoarding on the body, hoarding in the home. This is a belonging. Where do I belong? The hoarding created unnecessary chaos, unorganized chaos for sure. So it's finding the stillness and the solitude within to bring yourself peace. How do we do this, right? So finding peace within our inner being is being holistically inclined to love yourself. When I say love yourself, I'm not talking about loving outside of you. I'm talking about loving inside of you. Like, what do you absolutely 100% love about yourself? It's a matter of loving your hair color. In my case, when I was younger, I absolutely hated having red hair, mostly because of all the teasing and the taunting going on. So obviously I've adjusted to that and I love my hair. Just loving aspects of your being that you might feel are flawed because you're comparing them to an outside source, which is not what you should be doing, right? Love of self. So in being who you are to become, your beingness is your healingness and your wellness, right? I recently had my friend Nitin on my show. He's an intuitive cardiologist, and I liked what he had to say about illness, the I, and the wellness in the we. So creating wellness. How can we create wellness, right? I sense that's the nurturing in nature, not being part of what I call the slave economy. We've been in the slave economy for so long that the 9 to 5 is turned into the 24-hour craze and race, just trying to, keep up with the keep up. Totally unnecessary. And some of I don't know if I've shared with some of you, but I'll share some more. In 2012, I filed bankruptcy. No, actually, that's kind of the peak of when my chaos started. I filed bankruptcy in 2014. The reason I remember 2014 is because my mother, her little spirit transformed into spirit. She is in the spirit world right now. So it's 2014, filed bankruptcy. And, I did a Chapter 13. I paid back all the money that I owed. And the reason I bring up the bankruptcy is I learned about needs and wants. I need food on the table. I want a new Hemi. Big difference, right? My Hemi's fine. Nothing's wrong with it. Actually, I love my Hemi but I just learned a lot about needs and wants. I need to pay the power bill. I need to pay the gas bill. So I don't need a new pair of shoes, but I sure would like some. So again, needs and wants. So the hoarding, I think brings me back to the hoarding. The food, who really needs all that food? And what I've noticed is more community since this pandemic arose. I've still seen some snootiness and some chaos on different social media platforms. And that just lets me know that people are not in their heart space. They're tuning into an emotional frequency of discourse and discord, creating more havoc and chaos in that realm. They're probably not making great decisions because they're not paying attention to their feelings so much. So through this shift and transformation that we're all going through, just know that on the other side, stay centered in your heart space. Pay attention to what your feelings. Make sure they're your feelings, not somebody else's. Nurture your bodies. Our bodies are energetic to me before they are matter. My energy body functions at a higher vibration based on what I feed it. Feeding it negative thoughts or negative emotions are going to take out my vibration and slow me down. I might get a cold, who knows, right? Your environment of who you hang out with. You need to shift your frequency and your vibration there. We've actually lived through worse. So it's just a matter of getting back to our rootedness and our centeredness and our spiritualness, right? The cosmic highway. So I always look at people between the earth plane, your physical body, and the galactic highway. So you have to bring in all of these worlds together to shine your highest light. That's where that all comes from. And it's easier to tune into your senses and your intuition, the spirit world, when you are in your feeling world. It's really hard to get into your intuitive state if your mind gets in the way. The mind can create chaos. So you have to ask yourself questions. The mind, right? Is this true? My mind usually will take me on a journey where I create my own conundrum if I let it get flowing. I'd like just sharing some musing thoughts, my off-the-cuff musings. I'm not really flowing anywhere at the moment. I just wanted to share a perspective to up the perspective. I know I don't really have political beliefs. I'm more for humanity and the why people do certain things they do. It's kind of curious for me, curious and interesting. I like the curiosity, um, why people do the things they do on different levels, whether, we suffocate our emotions differently. We all do it. Just feeling your emotion, letting the emotion just rise up to its own occasion. It likes to be heard, and we've been taught for probably all my lifetime, if not lifetimes before, that emotions don't matter. In all actuality, they're how you tune into different frequencies, because your emotions don't lie. They carry a unique vibration. So yeah, and loving yourself and love of others, it's that you'll attract the vibration of your love space. So when you aren't being authentic and loving your inner self, then you start attracting a vibration of love that resonates to that frequency. So a lot of times our patterning even comes from frequenting the frequencies that we're familiar with. So become unfamiliar with the frequency you're frequenting, and maybe be curious and get insight on a different frequency you could frequent in this time and space. I'm just off the cuff right now. There's nothing really going on other than sharing my musing about this, what I call the corona, right? So I invite you to take a pause, take a deep breath, run your energy channels. I like to run mine from the crown center to the root, from the root center to the earth. All my in-body energetic centers, I kind of flow that way. My out-of-body energy centers, I usually breathe in from the earth plane to the root center again and out the crown, and hitting all the outer energetic fields. So yeah, just to get the flow going, and listen to your bodies. They speak a language, right? And don't create your panic and your havoc. If you feel like you are getting this virus, or maybe you're hosting it for that matters, it needs a host, sounds like, bring in your higher self, your spiritual side, or spirit, your effervescent self. Just bring in that energy and breathe through it, and just ask your divine self to clean up your corridor, your venue, your body, on both aspects, your inner world and your outer world, and just allow that transformation in that change. I would for sure go out gardening still, roll in the dirt if you can. If you have the ability to grow a garden, I would for sure start that prospect as well. I think we're just going to be more of a community, which has been, we've been rushing for way too long on community. And I also feel like nature has been trying to send us a message for quite some time. We've had fires in Australia. We've had fires in the Amazon rainforest. What's interesting is all the money in the world isn't going to change this virus. You can't buy it. It's not for sale, right? So it's interesting. So I just told some people the other day that it doesn't take money to feel valuable. And every body on the planet has a purpose. It's the purpose of your beingness, and what your beingness, where it wants to shine. So not all of us are going to shine on a YouTube channel, myself included. And some people do. It's just, if you're being centered in your heart space first, like doing what your heart wants and believing. And these are your beliefs, not the beliefs of the chaos around you. Okay. Like, yeah, beliefs they limit our possibilities, and especially if they're false beliefs, they're beliefs that don't come from our innate being. They might be beliefs of structure that somebody puts upon us, right? Doing a great job. Of course, doing a great job, you get a pay raise, right? But it's perception. On that level, just knowing where you belong, paying attention to your emotions. Your emotions will let you know if you belong in the space you're in, or the space you're not in, or the space you even want to go through. So yeah, this is just my off-the-cuff muse. You're welcome to comment. I'd love you to actually, and get the muse on. I recently also, real quick, I chatted with some people about doing a drumming across the globe and creating a resonance field. So in my galactic frontier, what that means is at my time zone, like if we all picked a time, I'm really not a morning person, and honestly I prefer to drum at night. So say every night at a certain time, across space and time, because you have to realize if it's 11 p.m. my time in Salt Lake City and you live in the East Coast, so that would be 2 a.m. your time, say. So my 11 a.m. and your 11 a.m., because across space and time, it becomes a different time, right? So we start creating musical notes to create a wave, and within a wave creates change, if that makes sense, because we're asking and collectively moving through vibration and frequency to shift the frequency. Anyway, with all that, you're obviously on my YouTube channel. You can find me on What's Up Tanya D on Facebook. My Twitter account is @GreenSkinnyGirl. Yeah, my Instagram is @TheTanyaD. Sorry, I'm having a phase out. Musing with Tanya D, my podcast, the energy series, protecting your energy body. That's huge for me. But yeah, thanks for joining me for my off the cuff. I'll probably start doing these a little bit more regularly, but either way, Ashe, enjoy your day.